It was a bus driver that got into an altercation with a parent, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share a little bit of it, then I'll come back and I'll give some of the details after researching it a little bit.
Go get his car. Yeah, like I don't worry, I'm not trying to fight. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. You gonna put your motherfucking hands on my head? Go on, fight. You won't put your hands on my motherfucking head. Say that shit again, bitch. You won't
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there because we're posting this, on YouTube and other places, and I didn't want to show the fighting part of it. But yeah, so initially it said, parents got the fighting on the school bus, at the school bus stop or whatever, but it turns
Mm-hmm.
out that it was a bus driver and a parent,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, after looking up what happened, and the only person that I've seen that have spoken out is the bus driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know and that was even just, I think, a random live with a friend of hers, right?
Okay.
So apparently the boy allegedly groped her bottom, right? So he gave
Mm-hmm.
her a hug and groped her bottom and was like, or something like that, right?
Mm.
So that's what she said. So the parent was saying, you put your hands on my child and all of that, you know what I mean? And she said, she didn't smack him. She said when it happened, she jerked him up and was like, I will smack the ish out of you. Don't you ever
Yeah.
disrespect me like that again. Right? And I don't know if that was like, if it all happened in the same day or if it was like the day before. Excuse me. But I do know that she said she went and told the school administration.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe she was stating she didn't feel safe. Right?
Yeah.
And he ended up back on the bus.
Mm.
Right? So then, once again, I don't know if that was all in the same day or if it was the next day and he had went home and told his mother and the mother was at the bus stop waiting on him or whatever the case may be. So then the mother came up and that's when she was saying, you put your hands on don't put your hands on my son or whatever. And you heard what they were saying or whatever, right? What are your initial thoughts from that? And I'm going to give some more details after your initial thoughts because you have a son. And I think that boy seemed, if I had to guess, he's not in high school. He seemed
So
like early middle school. That seemed like
middle
early
school.
middle school. Maybe in some elementary, maybe one of them like prep schools where elementary and middle go to the same school,
Yeah.
right? So what are your initial thoughts? And you have a son, close to that age, a little older, but close to that age.
Honestly, if DJ done that, I would first of all,
Uh-huh.
real shit, And honestly, I teach my son not to act in that manner
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of stuff starts at home in your environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a boy, so ain't no telling where he's seen that at, what he look at, far as his entertainment, YouTube, Facebook.
Of course.
When you have a father and a mother in the house, you have people, the guys slept mom booty in front of the kids, and then some guys, they definitely look at it as teaching their children this is how it's supposed to be, especially them
Mm-hmm.
who pro heterosexual. So they
Right,
will,
right.
kind of promote that activity. But
Mm-hmm.
you got to teach your children that you can't just grab people. So I definitely will. If it was DJ, I would, for sure. You definitely don't do anything like that, making anyone uncomfortable. And then after that, like, I'm not too confrontational. I'm not gonna go screaming at the bus driver. I could be pissed and my words will come out very aggressive at times. I'm a man,
Mm-hmm.
so of course the anger kick in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just from the parent's perspective. From the bus driver perspective, it's hard to say that she was wrong in anything if you looking at it, if it's the right or wrong thing. Her grabbing him could have
Mm-hmm.
been just off a reflex off the reaction. I wouldn't have said you wasn't wrong myself as a parent. He
Uh-huh.
grabbed you, hugged you, grabbed your butt like that, and he
Yeah.
definitely. And she said she didn't feel safe. He definitely shouldn't have ended back up on a bus,
Right, right.
and that's on the school side. So, uh, if anybody's wrong, I think it's more of the schools for not taking it as serious as it should have been taken. The parent and frustration. I'm not sure if she was aware of the whole situation.
Right,
Maybe the
right.
kid only told her a certain bit of it. The kid
Mm-hmm.
probably didn't tell her everything because you know how kids do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they want you to side with them, so they're probably gonna have some stuff back. But so let me ask you this: they did get to fight.
Yeah, they did get to fighting, and ooh, the way the way it was going. Now, shout out, it was a gentleman there. I don't know if he was a parent, an uncle, big brother, or what. He was a
Mhm.
grown man, looked like, and he broke it up after a little bit,
I didn't
for the
want to
most part,
ask
right?
who won, you know, but the
Yeah,
way she was talking, you, those demeanor you gotta look for. She wasn't too rowdy. The rowdy ones typically don't be the ones that really win, but
yeah,
the ones that's calm, she was like, "Put your hands on me again," and
yeah,
see who I'm gonna make you a bee out here.
yeah, yeah. No,
So
so
that's why you can't just go around putting your hands on folks. You mad, you frustrated. I understand that, man, and it
yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
But then also, I'm sure you probably heard me say this before about certain situations. Before I go react, I need all the details. I'm
yeah.
gonna assume that my kid didn't tell me everything.
Cause they're
Cause
kids.
they kids, you know your
Hmm.
kids. Your kid done lied about cleaning up the room, washing the dishes, doing something in your household for you to already assume my kid didn't
Yeah,
tell the whole truth. And if he did,
yeah.
let me still go ask his bus driver, hey, if my kid did nothing while you put your hands on him. And
Hmm.
OSHA be like,
Hmm.
well, it wasn't just nothing. Your kid didn't tell me everything. Okay, cool. Tell me the story.
Yeah, yeah,
And but
yeah.
then if she told the school should have notified the parent, and then they should have had some type of disciplinary action for him.
If you like what you just heard, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, SNE 2.0. SNE stands for Spare No Effort. All we're trying to do is help people become the best version of themselves. So please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and remember, spare no effort.